with Beard! Hey, podcast kittens! It's Cathy Cat.
Ladybeard coming at you with another, I didn't think of an adjective for this show, another small hat wearing edition of Cat with Beard! Lovely to see you, Cathy Cat. How are you, my darling? Your hat looks hilarious.
It's a tiny little
beautiful,
hat.
Not hilarious.
We
It's a
all
lovely
need
hat.
tiny hats. We all need at least one tiny hat in our
That hat
repertoire.
gives you a sense of authority in this studio, I feel. You're like the Queen of Hearts in the Alice in Wonderland story.
I'm the Queen of Hats.
Aha! The Queen of Hats in the Cat with Beard story. That's what you are.
Exactly.
You look lovely today. By the way, Cathy Cat's eyes look particularly nice today. I have, because from the side, you can see them. They look very, very, she's done a good job with their makeup, you see. They're very sparkly and glittery. And I complimented on her on that earlier, and now I'm doing it publicly, because public praise is a nice thing to do.
Yeah, look, you look lovely again today,
Bless
as
you.
always. And
Thank
I'm always so jealous of this long, beautiful,
Thank you.
light
It's
hair.
very clean at the moment.
It
I've
just
recently
seems to be
washed.
getting longer and longer for every episode.
Yeah, it's very long at the moment, actually. It's extremely long. It's extremely long.
For everyone who's not watching but actually listening, it is very long. It would go down to maybe your nips.
It's approaching my bottom ribs.
Yeah, it's going
very long.
there. It's going there.
It's going there.
Sorry.
Hey, we're not holding back on this podcast. It's everything that you might or might not expect and more. We're down to the floating rib, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of floating ribs, that has nothing to do with today's topic.
Nope.
Which is what?
Our topic is actually wordplay and Japanese wordplays. I think this is going to be a fun episode.
It's going to be a hilarious episode.
We're quite excited because we're starting with general, memorable Japanese word games, tongue twisters, and similar things
Are
like
you a
that.
fan of the twisting of the tongue?
Tongue twisters? I think we, as people working in the entertainment industry, we need to have at least one set of tongue twisters in our repertoire, which we then repeat to ourselves before we start a show, right?
The old lips warm up. You can't enunciate without warming up your lips.
I would highly advise you guys to do it. I can, from experience, I do sometimes voiceovers for Japan Railway Journal. And in those voiceovers, I see the difference. Did I warm up? Did I not warm up?
I see it big
if I
time.
didn't warm up, I get it sometimes wrong. It comes out difficult. It's just... bleh.
If I don't warm up, I sound increasingly more like Ozzy Osbourne as the shoot goes on.
That's not a bad thing.
Well, I'm not sure if he's really decipherable in most circumstances.
Point. Yeah, I just thought I was maybe too German to understand what he was saying, but okay. So one is the warming up your lips, just going. You do that usually.
We start.
Just make sure that your lips move while you're doing that to get that.
Yeah. Nice and
area.
relaxed, able to move around with dexterity.
Another thing I do that obviously I can't show is, but I move the tongue around my teeth on
clean
the
your
back
teeth
of
with your
it and
tongue,
make sure
right.
that the muscle is well trained for that moment. Just move the tongue around. It doesn't look pretty, but it's a good thing to
It
also
looks
do.
lovely.
Thank you. So move that around. But then there's also the wonders of tongue twisters.
Tongue twisters. You can hear a bit of a tongue twister. Get the instrument firing. What's your favourite warm-up tongue twister, Cathy Cat?
German, English, Japanese.
Whatever you like, baby girl. It's our podcast. We can say anything we like.
I mean, we're going to throw all of them in there. For me, before I get ready, it's Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut und Brautkleid bleibt Brautkleid. I got it.
That's beautiful.
That's
say again.
Blaukraut.
Braukraut.
Blaukraut. Bleibt Blaukraut.
Bleibt Blaukraut.
Und Brautkleid
Brautkleid.
bleibt Brautkleid.
Bleibt Brautkleid. I can see how that would get your tongue nice and warm.
So it's pretty much just says cabbage is cabbage and a wedding dress is a wedding dress because it's so similar. It kind of throws you off.
Yeah, when I got married, my dress was made out of cabbage. So
Yeah,
those
cabbage
things
dress.
are very similar.
Cabbage stays a cabbage. Dress stays being a dress.
Not
Give me an
really
English one.
married, just so you know.
No,
I
you-
was making
no.
a joke.
Yep.
I use the ones that we learnt in drama school. So there's Black Bug's Blood. We can say very quickly: Black Bug's Blood, Black Bug's Blood, Black Bug's Blood.
Black Bug's blood.
Black
Black
Bug's blood.
Bug's
Yep.
blood. Oh my
And then
gosh.
you hit the old red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather,
Red's leather.
red
Red
leather,
leather.
yellow
Yellow leather.
leather.
Red leather yellow.
Yeah, see? Now that tongue has been twisted up. Come
Wow,
on.
everyone at home, try it together with me. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather,
Good.
red leather, yellow.
And then you can get involved in a little bit of the old, you need unique New York, but does unique New York need you?
You know you need unique New York, but does unique New York need you?
Yes, it does, Cathy Cat, because you're perfect.
Well, thank you. Okay, somehow that didn't throw my brain off as much. I'm
that's cool, yeah.
not sure why. I brought some more German ones in there. Should
Hit
I
me.
bring another German one?
Hit me.
Okay. This one. Oh, this one's beautiful. Der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach. Drum dank dem dicken Dachdecker, dass der dicke Dachdecker dir dein Dach deckt. I got it already wrong. Oh God, hold on.
I love German.
Oh God. Okay. Der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach. Drum dank dem dicken Dachdecker, dass der dicke Dachdecker dir dein Dach deckte.
I love it. That is a thing of beauty. That is a thing of beauty. I love
This is
it.
beautiful. It pretty much means be grateful for the fat guy who makes your roof or fixes your roof because it's great that he does it, and just be grateful for the big guy who's looking after your roof. The roofer.
We're appreciating large roofers.
Appreciation. It is appreciation. You want to try it? It's written down. You
Sure,
want to give it
why
a
not?
go?
Where are we? We're here. Der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach. Drum dank dem dicken Dachdecker, dass der dicke Dachdecker dir dein Dach deckt.
Ooh,
Deckte.
flawless.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
You know, it's pretty good.
Thank you.
Nice one.
And we have some Japanese words written down right here as well.
We
can
do.
get into a little bit
We
old.
do.
Nice and simple to begin with.
All right, the very simple one is aburi karubi. Aburi karubi.
Aburi karubi.
Aburi karubi.
Which of course means?
It's like karubi is a certain type of meat. It's a bit more fatty. Was nice. It was just like fried beef.
Karubi.
in a way.
That's right. Aburi karubi.
Aburi
Oily karubi.
karubi. Aburi karubi. Aburi karubi. Aburi
Aburi
karubi.
karubi. Aburi karubi.
I can see how
Aburi
that
karubi.
after a while will get
Aburi karubi.
tricky.
Aburi karubi. Yeah, it's already tricky. Yeah.
So
I
that's
gotta
an
add
easy
that to
one.
my repertoire. Actually,
That's a good one.
very cool.
Aburi karubi.
What about this one? Next one right here. This is the old Tokyo Patent Office. Here we
Oh,
go.
Tokyo Kyokakyoku.
The Tokyo Patent Office is a fictional place.
Yep. So Tokyo Patent Office, Tokyo Kyokakyoku.
Tokyo Kyokakyoku.
Kyoku.
That one's tough, actually.
Tokyo Kyokaku.
Tokyo Kyokakyoku. I love that
Makes you go
song.
crazy.
I love that song. What about, here we go to the difficult one. I'm going to hit this one
I'm
because
still
I
stuck
enjoyed...
at Tokyo. Ah, my God.
You know what you should do? You should file a patent on that.
Oh, baiting on that.
Hey, hey,
Woo!
hey,
See what
what
you
you
did
should
there.
do.
Hey,
Let me
hey, hey.
hit you with this one.
Oh, go.
Bus guide on a bus gas bucket.
So the bus of the ugly bus guide had a gas explosion.
The ugly bus guide's bus had a gas explosion. It did. Bus guide on a bus gas bucket.
Oh, which means he needs a dicker dachdecker to make sure that the roof of the bus is okay because it exploded.
It comes full circle, ladies and gentlemen. This is amazing. This is amazing. My tongue is twisted in every direction it possibly can go.
Bus guide on a bus gas buckets.
That's a good one, eh?
It said that one's maybe more difficult for Japanese people. I find that a little bit easier to say.
That's
actually.
easier
Maybe
than
it's
the
a brain
Tokyo
thing.
Patent Office one.
Oh yeah, Tokyo Kyokakyoku. Still, we're not friends. They're not allowed on the exploding bus.
We're not.
They're not one of that. I have one more English one.
Oh, hit me.
One more English one. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Stop laughing.
No, it sounds like because you do it in a British accent, right? So it makes it more authentic. I love it.
All right, one more time. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. So a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So 'twas better. Betty Butter bought a bit of better butter.
Very good, Cathy Cat. That was a thing of beauty. That's like you're on a BBC children's show. That was beautiful.
I just felt a little bit of the cat in the hat kind of.
I
Oh no, it's the
loved
cat
it.
and the hat.
Oh, the cat. Aha!
This is the
Cat
perfect
in the
show.
hat.
The
This
cat
has
in
worked
the
out
hat.
perfectly. Hey,
We're
BBC,
right there.
hire her. This is
BBC,
fantastic.
welcome.
Now, of course, palindromes. We get into the old palindrome in Japanese.
Japanese palindromes,
A little bit of
especially.
the old, it's the same thing when you say it forwards as when you say it backwards. It's what the palindrome is.
I find those very, very exciting in a way.
Oh, yeah?
Palindrome. The moment you realize something is a palindrome, you're like, oh,
Yeah, I'm very pro palindrome. It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's clever. It's clever. Good. Palindromes. Oh, so yeah. Japanese palindrome.
Hit me with a Japanese palindrome, Cathy Cat.
Takeyabu yaketa.
One more time.
Takeyabu yaketa.
Oh, yeah, and again.
Takeyabu yaketa.
Oh,
Shall we have it with an echo one more time? Takeyabu yaketa. That doesn't really need an echo, but I just wanted one. Thank you.
I'll try one. I don't think I'm going to do as good a job as you did. Let me see how I go. Watashi makemashita wa.
Shall we do this with an echo? You want to have a sexy echo?
Do I want an echo? There we are. Watashi makemashita wa. Is that right? Did I get that correct? I nailed it. Good job, Ladybeard. Nailed it.
You needed to have the wa at the end to make it then a palindrome, so you can read it both ways.
You do need that. You got to both ways, exactly. Because yeah. Essentially, when you read it in Romaji, you're right. It starts with wa and it's wa on both sides. But when you read it in when you read it in hiragana, it's a wa on both sides. But of course, when you read the Romaji, it starts with a W and ends with an A.
It's a syllable alphabet, so it's a little bit different. So if you, for example, were to spell this out in Romaji in the English alphabet, it wouldn't make the same sense.
I hope those of you who are studying Japanese at high school are paying attention to this episode because you're going to learn a lot.
Yeah,
Puns! Japanese puns! Cathy Cat!
Oh gosh, Japanese people love their puns. They love their dad jokes.
Love a good dad joke.
Yep.
I got oyaji gagu.
Oyaji gagu. They call them here old man jokes, which pretty much the same as a dad joke.
That's just what Shiori tells me my sense of humor is. Anytime I make a joke, she says, that's an oyaji gagu.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You hear the cicada, someone going, weep, 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 weep. No one's laughing.
No, I hear, I see my manager. She's always got a mask on, and she always stares at me. There's no reaction. And then she just says, oyaji gagu da na. That's what happens.
That is better than what my colleague for Ask Japanese does. If I do a dad pun or like an oyaji gagu, he will say, go home.
I was going to say, you're fired is a common reaction to a dad joke.
Go home.
What's a nice dad joke you hit us with?
I think number one that everyone will say, futon ga futonda. Probably every person who goes to Japan will learn this one, so just remember it. Futon ga futonda.
Imiwa?
Which means a futon. If you think about it, most of you guys know the word futon, the thing that Japanese people sleep on, like a mattress. And futonda means it flew, like it... The mattress fell off. For example, a lot of people actually hang this one up out of their balconies and they fall down and there you go. Futon ga futonda. I literally have seen this once. I took a picture. So it actually happened.
Oh, yeah?
Someone was hanging up their futon. It flew down. It ended up on an electricity wire.
Really?
And the futon was futonda, but I don't think they were laughing about that.
Sounds like it's about to be the futon's on fire.
The futon's
Everybody
on
run.
fire?
Oh my goodness.
Yep, that can happen.
Goro!
Hold on,
Stop,
no,
Ladybeard! Stop too damn fast! What?
Do you have a quick pun ready? Something with tiny cats and hats? No, I put you on the spot there. But I made my own Japanese word pun, so I'm going for that one.
Ladybeard's so confused. I don't know what just happened.
Okay, so when I want to say my Japanese pun that I made when I came here in high school.
go on.
It might not be so great.
All right.
Okay? It might not be so great.
Okay.
But I liked it. Okay? I found a chestnut. Big goody. It's a big nut. Big goody. And if you put it together, it means surprise. So I was very proud of that one.
That's
okay,
very
this
cute.
Okay, yeah, right. It's a
very
chestnut.
cute.
Big goody. It's a big nut. But
That's
it
very
means I'm
cute.
surprised, so.
Actually, thinking about it, I actually came up with one of my own as well.
Oh, you did?
Which is a baba, no baba, which is the grandmother Baba from Takadano Baba.
Ah.
Baba no baba.
Baba no baba baba. That's cute.
Is that actually a pun? Maybe it's not a pun. Maybe it's just a bunch of words that sound the same.
Baba baba. There's another one, but that's not a pun. Which was niwa tori ga iru, which is again another play on words with words that sound similar, and it's like in the garden there are 2 chickens.
Oh, well, that's true. There are.
Yeah, so you can just go niwa tori ga iru. These are the little things that Japanese people will teach you if you come, for example, for an exchange. But if you already know them from listening to a podcast, you one up in them, and you're gonna surprise them with these little sentences.
Like a boss.
So
like
it's
a boss.
It's good to know these kind of little things because it makes people smile, even if you can only say konnichiwa and maybe ftonda, you'll still already be able to make someone smile. They're like,
Sure
why
will.
do you know that?
Make
Oh,
massive
that dad
smiles.
joke, get out of here. Okay,
You
you're
will
funny.
manufacture smiles. Your smile factory. Do the kids still say like a boss? Is that 10 years ago? Is that already gone? Come and gone
Ask
with
the
that song?
TikToks. Ask the TikToks.
Do you lot say like a boss? Let us know. Write a comment or something.
Write a comment.
Like a boss. All right.
Goro awase.
Goro
What's awase?
awase. Goro awase. Used often by students to remember hard-to-remember numbers, such as formulas and year numbers, in historical study and context, by making them into sentences and rhythms. Sentences and rhythms. I read that incorrectly. Sentences and rhythms. So, you got a number you got to remember. You make it into a little sentence using the rhythms of the sounds of the numbers, and that makes it easier to remember.
So you're like in school, I think we do like certain things to remember things. I actually have one that I still use nowadays.
What's that?
Because I get the directions north, east, south, west
Okay.
always wrong.
Okay.
So in German school, they were like nie ohne Seife waschen, which means never wash without soap, which is very applicable in the pandemic and post-pandemic era. Never wash without soap. But nie north ohne east Seife south. Waschen west. So that's how I remember the directions, and apparently I still get them wrong. But in Japan, they do similar things where they kind of have things that are like little sentences and they rhyme and they help them remember certain things. Do you have something like that where you remember something?
Sure we do. I'm sure there is.
You guys do. If you have something like you had to remember from school, like a date or something you had to remember, let us know. Write it in the comments.
Oh, yeah, we did actually. We had one for the planets.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a teacher whose name was Mrs. Virgin. So it was, and then it was a part of our school that was called Panem. So the rhyme was, see Mrs. Virgin eating marmalade jam somewhere up near Panem. And those were the first letters of all the planets in the solar system.
Oh, clever.
So Sun, Mercury, Venus. Yeah.
And what if your teacher was not called Virgin? How do
Then you
people
had
remember
to
that?
think of a different Mr. or Mrs. or otherwise that had a surname starting with V. You could make one up. Velocity! Ms. Velocity! Sounds
okay.
a little bit like a movie starring Sandra Bullock or something. Yeah? Ms. Velocity!
Ms. Velocity. So in Japanese, we have 4 times 9, it's 36. Shiku, 36. Shi, 4, you guys may have heard it before that 4 is a bit an unlucky number because you can read it as yon, but you can also read it as shi, which means death. But the sound of shi, you can remember that shi, ku, and then ku is 9. That hasn't changed, and then sanjuroku, it rhymes. Shiku, sanjuroku. So, 4 times 9 is 36. Whew. Did you do that to remember math? Oof, good luck.
How do you remember 1789, the French Revolution?
The French Revolution. So that would be Hinan Bakuhatsu. So Hinan is 1, hi, and nan for nana.
Yep.
But then we go for hyaku. So that's how we get baku.
Okay, yep.
So in Japanese, when you put words together, for a ha becomes a ba, for example. And then hatsu, we close it up. Hinan Bakuhatsu. Is then so explosion.
To think of beauty.
You remember those words, but I think that's something very Japanese. There's a lot of like call lines. If you look on TV, that will be like, "Oh, call our number," and then we, for example, be "thank you," which means thank you. But it's also 3939 san ku, thank you. So those kind of things are like how a lot of people get people to remember, for example, phone numbers and such.
And you know what? Also on Japanese Twitter, how every day is some day of something. It's either cat day or bikini day or banana day, and a lot of the time that's just the pronunciation of the numbers. It sounds sort of like a word. So that's what today's day is.
Yeah. Also for me, my setting is my age is eternally 22, and it's nini, but it's also nya can be the sound of cats.
There you go. There you go.
Nya. The more nyas, the older I am. I just
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Nya. Okay. Other games that you guys would like where we're playing when you were in school and you were bored. Do you have anything?
I mean, the girls would do these patty cake type games.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I shouldn't discriminate. Boys did it sometimes too, and others as well. But
Yeah, I had
the
fun
girls
with
really
patty
dug it.
cakes and the things with strings. Any kind of word games you guys were playing? because when I was teaching kids in elementary school, a lot of people or kids were playing shiritori.
Okay, talk to me.
So it's like a very popular game where you kind of connect things together. So you say a word and the other person says a word and you kind of create a chain, but you're not allowed to say because there's no word that starts with .
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Should we try? No, let's not try right now. I was going to say let's try right now, but no, let's
So
not.
I would say banana, and the last syllable is a na. So you
I
go...
have to say... Natsuki-kun no onaka.
Oh, right. You should probably just say one thing.
She said one word.
I think you
Sorry,
lost.
I
The
did a whole damn
Natsuki-kun
thing.
ends with an N, so you already lost
I've
that
already
game.
lost the game.
You already lost the game. No, I
should
lost the
have
game
said-
twice.
I should have said nameraka.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it worked.
And then we have ka, and I go kahosu, which is a Japanese citrus fruit.
And I say subete.
Yeah, and then I start with te and go tetsudai. I don't know.
Bang on
Something
like that until someone pops out
something.
which I did at the very beginning.
Yep. Right. So I think like that's a game that kids in elementary school love playing. They played it on repeat. They already had like their sets of if you say this, I'll definitely say that.
Did they really?
Yeah, gorida, rapa,
Really?
cotton, and so on.
Wow. How old were these kids?
Oh, elementary school, so they had a lot of fun with that.
Oh, happy days. All right. Sounds joyous. Okay. All right.
And
All right. And the old Yamanote line game.
I don't know that game.
Me neither, but it's written on our script.
All right. Guess we're not.
Let's move on. Let's just move past that
All
game.
right, let's go for that one. Let's go do that one. Okay, since we are at words, Japanese names can sometimes also be plays on words or being connected. So we, for example, in another episode of a podcast, we had Mr. Sunshine here.
Sunshine.
Yes, and his master was called Sanshi, and his name then derived from his master. So Sanshine. It became Sunshine, so that's how the master kind of passed on his legacy. I think naming-wise, there's a lot of creativity with Japanese names that we don't have in the West. Katharina is maybe Katharina the Great because it comes from Katharina the Great, but there's maybe the Great as a meaning attached to it, but a lot of names don't really have a real meaning attached to it.
Well, that's like, Johnson, son of John, that kind of thingamajig. And,
kind of got lost though in time. You kind of have to look that up. While in Japanese, you see a certain symbol, and a symbol can have a meaning and a sound, and they can be totally separate. So you can have, I think every foreigner who ever comes to Japan wants their name written completely in kanji, and they pick all the good kanji and line them all up just for the sense of sound next to each other, and it's like, great emperor, kingdom of the beauty of flowers. That's probably something that my name came out to. And don't do that, because it's too many good adjectives together. Makes you kind of look very like you're a foreigner and you just tried really hard. It's true. Just write your name in katakana. You save yourself a lot of people laughing at you.
that's the thing of beauty. I've never tried to turn my name into the kanji.
Yeah. Oh god.
It ended up being
just
like
me,
Jackass #1 or something. That's what I choose as my kanji.
So, for example, cat can be fire, cat can be flower. So I could pick ooh, I like to have flower there. And then, it became a very pretentious name in the end. But that's what you can do.
Beautiful name. You can do that. It's free.
So you will, for example, the sun will have the same name. It might be Makoto.
Okay.
And you can spell it in as a very honest person. You can spell it in a different way though if you wanted to. It still will sound Makoto, but the kanji will be different.
Totally dishonest.
You're not allowed to give negative names, apparently. So negative kanjis are forbidden, like demon or something. You can't give a child a nice sounding name that actually is written with very negative kanji. You're not allowed to.
Can I give my child a ridiculous kanji? Can I call the child Diplodocus oblong revolving door?
Well, unfortunately, there are some parents who have named their kids Winnie the Pooh. So the child will be Pooh-san, which abroad is a very bad idea.
Probably not going to work out well.
That is not a very good idea. So that is apparently okay.
That's all right. That's acceptable.
But it's apparently okay. Unfortunately, there's a couple of Pooh-sans out there. But you're not allowed to use very negative things that literally are kind of like dissing your own kid.
Wow, all right. Well, that's good.
It's think about it. We have like sparkliness, kira kira name, sparkle names.
Oh, yeah, good
We have
point.
them as well. Like even in some suburbs in Germany where everyone's working on the field and there's suddenly in there Shakira. And it's just, oh God.
Yeah,
so
right.
sorry, Shakira. That's
recent
good.
popular
Sparkle
Japanese
names.
baby name is Diamondo.
Oh.
Yeah, Diamondo-chan.
So there's a lot of Diamondo-chans in that class.
Diamondo-chans running around.
Well, okay, yeah, that's the parents naming. Everyone's
right.
a sparkly diamond.
But
Very special
Japanese
snowflakes.
surnames, typically, they're very descriptive, aren't they? So a lot of the time they describe like something like where you live close to or where you're from. So, for instance, Yamada is like from the mountains.
Yeah, Yama.
Mountain. So from the mountains,
Yeah,
yeah?
and that is usually a field, mountain field.
Yep.
Hey, mountain field.
Tanaka, from the fields.
Yep.
Owns the fields. Field, Tana, field. Yep. Suzuki, person who belonged to a blacksmith family.
Ooh, all of those, fantastic. Yes, it's good for the top 3 of most common names you're most likely to encounter.
Let's go. Let's count them backwise. Number 3, most common name in Japan. Cathy Cat.
Takahashi.
Takahashi.
So
Yeah.
Hashi can again. I think that can have different kanji, but Hashi is that usually bridge. Usually Hashi comes from bridge, not the chopsticks. It's the bridge.
The bridge. 1.5 million Takahashi families in Japan. ladies and gentlemen.
1.5 million.
million different Takahashi families.
And one is actually sitting in our studio right
You
now.
would not believe it.
So it must
Takahashi
be
Georgie.
quite.
Georgie is in the studio.
It must be quite
Georgie.
common.
Hiya,
Well, you're great.
Georgie.
You're awesome. You're rocking it.
He's the best Takahashi.
You're awesome.
Takahashi number 1.
If you didn't want your name in it, you can still cut this out. There again, it's
Cut
probably gonna
anything
get cut
you
out.
like. It's
That
show. You have total control.
Yeah.
Number 2 most
Number 2.
common name in Japan. We already said it.
Oh, Suzuki, which
Suzuki.
I find interesting because I know the name Suzuki from cars.
Let's go to the motorbike.
Yeah, I thought I didn't know that was a family name that just got passed on to a car. I just thought it was a fancy brand name.
You know what? If you watch the original Karate Kid movie from like 1980 or whatever, he's talking about, there's some scene in the high school when he's talking to the girls about his bike and he's trying to impress the girls with his bike. And of course, that's during Japan's, economic bubble era, right? And so he's talking about his bike. Like, oh yeah, no, I have to fix my bike. And he means his, pedal bike, right? And like one of the girls is like, oh, what kind of bike do you have? Like a Suzuki or a Yamaha? And he's like, it's a Miyagi. Because of course Miyagi is sensei. Like, Miyagi? I don't know Miyagi. Oh yeah, Miyagi, it's the coolest bike. Yeah. I don't know why I threw that in there, but I thought you would want to hear about it. Go watch the Karate Kid.
Names that we know. So we have 1.75 million Suzuki-sans out there.
1.75 million
Wow.
Suzuki. I wonder how many Suzuki bikes exist in Japan.
Oh, good question.
I wonder if there are more Suzuki bikes than Suzuki families. You think so? You think so? Because Yamada is allowed to ride a Suzuki. You know?
So,
Takahashi's allowed to ride a Suzuki.
oh yeah,
You know?
all of that.
Johnson.
Okay. And yes.
Riding a Suzuki bike. There's no law against riding a Suzuki motorbike. Doesn't matter what your name is. Unless it's derogatory to your child. In which case
Get
you have
off
to
the
change
bike,
it.
Ladybeard, get off the bike. We haven't said number 1 yet.
Number
Number
one.
one.
Most common name in Japan. Cathy Cat, what is it?
I would have guessed from all the Japanese textbooks it's Yamada, but it's not.
Not at all.
It's Sato.
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 Sato. 2 million Sato-sans are out there.
2 million different Sato families.
So you're very likely to have encountered a Sato in school.
At least one Sato.
Sato-san.
A single Sato. A single solitary Sato sat solemnly beside the sea.
Ooh!
And surely Sato-san said, "See me sequently."
That brings us almost back to the tongue twisters.
I
here.
should have said, "See my Suzuki." That would have
See
brought
my
back to the
Suzuki!
damn bike. That's what I should have said. I
Oh
thought
my
of it
gosh.
too late. Damn it! Damn it! Can we edit it? Edit it! Edit it! So I said Suzuki.
So there are about 300,000 different surnames in Japan at the max, 300,000. So actually a lot of them get shuffled about. I guess there's common surnames in Germany would be Müller. That's like a very common name as well.
Most common name in Australia. Brown.
With the same kanji, there are different ways to read something.
Yep.
So, for example, one thing I remember is if you watch the Death Note movies, or maybe it's also in the anime, it's Raito, the protagonist Raito. The name is written with the kanji for tsuki, for moon. So you would have to actually say tsuki, but she doesn't know how to read it because it's an English reading. So you can actually make up your own thing. You can put a couple of kanji there and just say, they mean that.
Oh, okay,
and then you just call them Shintao.
Shintal?
Chantal.
Chantal, I see.
Beyonce. You just put a couple of kanji there that just say pretty woman, and then just say, oh yeah, my kid's name is Beyonce.
Richard Gere. Exactly. Yeah. Anything you
Well,
like.
probably you can have fun with kanji. Let's say it like that.
Cut the Richard Gere. Cut the Richard Gere. We'll cut the Richard Gere. Thanks.
Okay. Rare names include, is that a first name or a second name, a family name?
Family name, Janae?
Family name? Family name? Okay. Rare family names in Japan.
Here we go, ladies and
Hanage.
Hanage!
Which means hana is your nose and ge is your hair. So nose hair. I don't want to know how they got that surname, but they have that surname. And I'm so sorry if you're sending your kid to school.
Poor kid. Oh, my goodness.
No. But yeah,
He's
oh God.
6 years old and you're named Nose Hair.
Oh man, that's gonna be a tough one.
later.
Next one. Oh, tearai.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry. That's the washroom. That's when you very kindly ask to go pick some flowers when you want to go to the washroom. It's tearai. Again, that's the worst name. Again, sending your kid to school.
Pretty bad.
Very bad idea.
Pretty bad.
Okay, there's a lot. There's a lot of these kind of. We had actually in Germany. We had an example of the surname was already sounding like Höschen, which means slippers, slips like knickers. I mean, here we go. But then they decided to also call their daughter Rosa, which means pink. So if that girl goes to school, her name is literally Pink Knickers. That is just torture. But that is legal. In most cases, should be illegal.
There was a family, wasn't at my school, but the daughter was like at our sister school. Last name Kerr, and the daughter's name was Jessie, so Jessie Kerr. And then son, last name Kerr, no joke. Mum and Dad gave him first name Wayne.
Oh no!
Pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Oh no!
Pretty
That
rough.
is just cruel.
I hope I haven't called him out now.
I think they were just having fun. They were just having fun. The parents were like, this is like a funny joke. This is like dad joke in the worst place. You don't want to have your name be a dad joke.
It's like that film Meet the Fockers, if you remember that film.
Oh, yeah. That's
There you
just
go.
constantly
As the,
the same joke, but a family name.
Mm-hmm.
But poor there. Okay, I am very grateful that I didn't get either of those names. And I'm also very glad that there is a law against giving really bad kanji to your kids.
Yeah.
But again, there's too many tiaras when we need the poos out there.
Tiaras.
Anyways, Ladybeard, this was our tongue twister episode. I think we should close it up with a random tongue twister.
Just twist the tongue.
Right,
Twist it up.
Did you
twist
remember
it up, baby. Now twist it up, baby.
Okay, shall we try this one together?
Here we are.
3, 2, 1. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers
Peter Piper picked?
Ladybeard won that round. Congratulations!
Thank you very much, Cathy Cat. Tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Cathy Cat _TV. I'm still very glad that this person has been apparently looking after the roof of the bus that exploded earlier. You can find Cathy Cat _TV on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, tweet. I lost too much wordplay for me today, but
Japan Railway Journal
is the
on the
program
NHK.
that I do on NHK World here on TV in Japan. Japan. And Ladybeard, where can we find you
At-
and Babybeard?
At Ladybeard_Japan on the internet, and my group at Babybeard_Japan. Coming to an anime convention near you very soon. Look at the dates and things on my social media, please.
And don't forget, Cat with Beard has a YouTube channel and a Twitter, and hopefully soon also an Instagram that we'll be able to plug to you.
You can write us a comment. You
Yes.
can write us a question.
Yes.
Give us feedback.
Yes.
Comment on Cathy Cat's hat.
Oh,
Anything
tiny
that you
hats.
want to throw in the mix, stick it right in there in the comment section. Whatever you think you need to communicate with us, pop it in there.
yes, do it. And I'll see you soon for another episode of
Cat with